Well, good morning, everyone. This is the devotion for Saturday, April 11. Today we're looking at the last of the seven sayings of Jesus as he was on the cross. And today we have just three simple words, but what a lot of gospel meaning they have for us. Just in terms of sort of setting us up, Pastor Dan at the Monday, Thursday service did just a really nice job of explaining the events that led up to where we are, sort of picking it up on Friday morning after Pilate, in frustration, just finally agrees to have Jesus scourged and executed. And so the soldiers take him and they make him carry his cross up to the place called Golgotha. And about 9 o'clock in the morning, they crucify him and they nail him to the tree and they hang him up there between the two criminals. And then so at about noon, 3 hours after that, the sun goes dark and it's dark and blackness covers the earth there for 3 hours. And then that takes us to about 3 in the afternoon where we get to our text for today. And I'll just read a couple verses here out of the Gospel of John. John is the only gospel writer that includes these words. And starting at verse 28, he says, "After this, after all these things that we've heard about, Jesus, knowing that all was finished, said, to fulfill the scriptures, 'I thirst.'" And then this is what you heard about in yesterday's devotion. "A jar full of sour wine stood there, so they put a sponge full of the sour wine on a hyssop branch, and they held it up to his mouth. When Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, 'It is finished.' And he bowed his head and gave up his spirit." Just three simple words. But what is the meaning of it? What clearly isn't the meaning of it is Jesus isn't saying that I am finished, because we know that certainly isn't true. So what is it that is finished? And that is the work that he's come down to earth to do. And that is bearing in the place of all of his people the wrath of God against sin. That was basically Jesus' earthly assignment, to live a perfect life and to die a very difficult death for the salvation of those who believe. And so that's what we're saved from when we trust in Jesus. We're not saved from a meaningless life. We're not saved from difficulties and struggles, and we're certainly not saved from sinning or temptation, but we're saved from the wrath of God because of what Jesus did for us. It's sort of the great exchange. You could equate it to that, where Jesus Christ takes on himself all of our sin and the punishment for that sin, and in exchange we get his perfect, spotless righteousness. And so in this scene we see the infinite justice of God taking place, and that sin is not overlooked but is punished through the death of Jesus Christ. And mercy is not set aside, because the mercy is extended for us in that sort of exchange where we get Christ's righteousness. And so that's just the message of the gospel, sort of in a nutshell right there. And Jesus realizing that at this point he's perfectly fulfilled his mission, and he says, "It is finished." And so we get to celebrate tomorrow morning the resurrection of our Savior. It's a very special Sunday for us. And I would just say that many of us put some effort into getting ready for that. Maybe you have a new dress or a new outfit that you are intending to wear to church. I would suggest that you just go ahead and get dressed up and put that on and watch the service tomorrow morning together as a family. And then after you do that, take a picture of yourself and send it to someone you love. And so anyway, thanks for watching this morning, and hope to see you all soon.